I was in South America, absolutely fell in love with Colombia, and decided to move there with a few friends. And we started a tour company down there, and so we were doing tours and really just living it up, and then COVID happened. My name is Maximille Gonzales. I'm a photographer, tour guide, and avid dog petter. I grew up in Richmond, California, which is just north of Berkeley and Oakland, right across the bay from San Francisco. Right after high school, I went to UC Santa Cruz, and one of my main reasons why I went was for swimming. Up to date, I swam competitively for about 20 years. Studied fine arts, studio arts, where I did everything from charcoal to metal installations, some performance, as well as acrylic, but my main passion was oil painting. There was a point in my life where I was working 6 jobs. I worked 4 months without a single day off, and it felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere, and I was just paying my loans off, and it kind of just felt like it was just a wheel going around in circles, and it kind of was getting stressful, and I felt really stuck. And so I saved up some money, found flights for really cheap, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to Europe for, a couple weeks. And so 2 weeks ended up being 3.5 months. So I had a little acrylic set with a few brushes that I would bring with me. I would travel around Europe, and I remember being in like Germany and France and like Sweden. I would be like, I'd try to plot it, find a plot and just like sit down, paint. And as cool as it was so inconvenient. Also dirty, kind of just messy. It's hard to drink my espresso with paint all over my fingers. And so that, I thank travel 100% for getting me into photography. I've always been good at it because I have a great sense of composition and color grading, and I understand how color works with certain compositions. And so it just kind of came naturally. Photography is not my main source of income. It is something that has grown in the last few years. Immediately when I moved here in Sacramento, from Oakland, I moved here. I didn't know that many people. I didn't really have any job prospects. I was really trying to pick up that creative momentum and get bookings, and they were coming in, but none of them were really big, big clients, and so none of them were really high paying. I got into Sac Brew Bike and Sac Brew Boat while I was hustling. I had worked in tourism previously for a number of years. Those two are definitely the bread winners, the bread maker, the baker, the bacon supply. What's another way to say that? So I went on the boat with the captain and one of their first officers, and kind of just saw what they did, was checking it out, seeing if it was something I would like, and it was a lot of fun. And I was like, oh, it's a lot of fun, and I can get paid for it. Why not? And it goes towards my captain's license. Okay, sold. The owners were like, hey, Max, you might really like Brew Bike. You should give that a go too. And I was kind of like, no, I want to be on the boat. I want to stay on the water. And then I did Sac Brew Bike it took a little bit. It was maybe like 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. And then I ended up really liking it. So I started the Globetrotters podcast with 2 friends, which is a podcast where we share the unique travel stories of people from all over the world. Some are more story-oriented, and some are more informative. And so we like to try to really touch on unique topics that aren't so bland, and kind of help motivate and inspire other people to see as much of the world as possible. I love what I'm doing. Obviously, a little more money would be great to fund my adventures and my passions, but no, I'm really happy with what I'm doing, and I just kind of see it continuing to grow from here on. Oh, do you want? Gotcha, okay. What was the question? The best part? Oh, some things I can't say on camera. No, you might have to cut some of that out, I don't know. I can do a, yeah, I love people, it's great. Do you want me to do that? I can do that. I thought that was like the... Isn't that what I said? Kinda, yeah, but yeah. How's the DoorDash looking? Go sit. That one just died. I have a lot of downtime, but we're gonna restart that.
I knew it. Come on.
No. Shayna.
Oh, that one also went up.
Quiet on the set. Tim. I technically was a stripper for a rock climbing gym. Stripper, like we stripped the wall for new routes, so not technically a stripper, but that's what we were called. It showed up on my paycheck. It was pretty funny. Fell in love with a stripper, right? Yeah. What was the question?